Love Life Heart Confessions with intuitive heart healer, the Love Guru, Blair Allison. Blair can be found on the web at loveguru.net and datingtipsfordudes.com. And now your host, Blair Allison.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Love Life Heart Confessions. I am so happy to be with you today, and I'm sending everybody who's listening live and everyone who's listening to the archives, I'm sending you guys lots and lots of love. This is Blair. I'm Blair, the Love Guru, and I teach an easier, more natural, flowing way to attract love, which is what I call the spiritual way to attract the one. And for those of you who are new to the show, I just wanted to give you some information of how you can reach me off the air. My website is loveguru.net. And for the guys, it's datingtipsfordudes.com. And I'm on Facebook and Twitter, and you can become friends with me. You could follow me through there. I post a lot. Really like being social online. And my username for both of those are Love Guru, is Love Guru Blair. So just look for that. Become my friend. We'll hang out online. So today we have a really, really great show. Which, by the way, actually, did you listen to last week's show, either live in archives yet? You should totally go do that. It was a really interesting show. It was titled, it was a guy who's a cross-dresser. He's straight, and he can't find a date. And I found that really interesting. I think that, just by hearing that topic, a cross-dressing guy, he's single and he can't find a date, what's that have to do with me if you're not a cross-dresser? But he really is a lot more like you and like me than you would think. It was a really interesting show, and definitely tune in to the end there too. I give tips to him at the end, and I thought that was really interesting what came up. So if you haven't listened to it yet, go check out the archives, and you'll see it listed, cross-dressing guy, single, can't find a date, something like that. It's titled. So today we're talking about being single, lonely, and hating it. And today's show is 100% dedicated to you, to call in with your questions, whatever's going on in your love life. I'll take a look. I'm an intuitive heart healer. I know I'm known to the general public as the Love Guru, but I'm also an intuitive heart healer, which means that I have the gift to open and heal your heart so that you can attract the love that you desire. And the way that that works is like within a few minutes of me talking to you, I get an idea, I get a sense of either what is blocking you from finding love. If your heart is hurting or things like that, I could pick that up, and then I'll take you through heart healing exercises. Or if you're just fine, maybe you don't need any heart healing and you're just kind of in a space that you're ready to attract love, well, I'll teach you how to attract love. So call in. I already see some callers lining up, which is awesome. So let me give you the number here. It's 347-324-3904. So I'm going to be answering your questions today. And if you want to be asking me something specific about your love life now, like say you're having a little drama in your dating life or your marriage life or whatever, call in. I'll take a look at that also. I'm a clairvoyant, so that means I could see things. I'm an empath, which means I could feel things. I'm also claircognizant, which just means that I just intuitively know stuff. So we'll see. Different things come up with different people, and we'll have fun with that. Let's see here. Before we dive into today's topic, I did want to just make two announcements here. Number one, have you seen the Travel Girl magazine? It's out on the stands now, summer 2009. I'm a contributing writer for them, which is really, really cool. And I have an article in there, which is a dating guide for a down economy. And it talks about how, since we're in a down economy, how it's a really wonderful time to choose just an amazing, prosperous partner. And related to that, is it a week or 2 weeks or so, on August 25th, I guess that's in a week or so, I'm hosting a prosperity-minded partner teleclass. This is how to choose a prosperity-minded partner. And it's just for women. I'm sorry, guys. It'll be for sale afterwards. You guys could purchase it off the site. But I just want to focus on the ladies. And we're going to do different. We're going to talk about what it means to have a prosperity mindset. We're going to examine either the man who's in your life, or the men who are in your life, or the guys that you're dating, whether they are prosperity minded. We'll take a look at the men that you've dated in the past. You know what your pattern is if you're attracting these prosperity minded men. It's a little bit of a tongue twister. Or if you're attracting these men who have a scarcity mindset, and then we'll take a look at you. You know, if you're thinking positively about things. And really what happens is somebody who has a prosperous state of mind naturally attracts all this abundance to them in life. And that includes money, yes. It includes everything, just a really full life. And that's what I'm helping you with this teleclass. And if you'd like to come join us, it's over the phone. It's going to be August 25th, 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern. And you could find details about that and sign up on my website at loveguru.net. And then you just click on Teacher, and you're going to see under the Teacher tab, it'll say Choosing a Prosperity-Minded Partner Teleclass. And then you'll be signed up, and you'll get the call-in information so you could join us. So, all right, so today, single, lonely, and hating it. Once again, you want to get in queue if you have a question about your own love life. The number is 347-324-3904. So let's see. A couple of weeks ago, I did a show that was called Single, Lonely, and Hating It, and I was interviewing this guy named Mickey. And he's in his late 20s, I think, or early 30s. I think he's in his early 30s. He's overweight. He's not happy about that. And again, you can look in archives if you didn't listen to that show yet. But I wanted to share some tips with you guys. That, you know, a lot of things came up from that show. I got a lot of emails from you guys saying, you know, I think he was getting on a lot of your nerves because he was just very passive in his love life. And I think some of you also were maybe a little bit upset that I wasn't giving him advice on the show either, which I can understand that too. It was a little bit hard for me at times listening to his story too, because I'm a very proactive person, and he kind of had the attitude of, I'm so sad and there's nothing I could do about it type of feel. Very much like a victim. But, you know, the purpose of the show is just for people to come on to share their story, for us to listen. And then now what I'm doing at the end of the show, because I was doing it before that, the next show in the beginning I would offer tips for the guest on the previous show, if that makes sense. You know, it would be kind of continued from one week to the next. Whereas what I'm doing now is I have a guest. They're going to share their story. I'm not going to make any comments about it, whatever. And then at the end, the last 15 or 20 minutes, then I'm giving advice of how they can move forward in their love life. But it's really important for me and for all of us just to listen. You know, and what we realize, I mean, this is a great thing for you to do. Listen to any of the shows, especially, you know, today we're talking about single, lonely, and hating it. So if you're single and you're lonely and you're hating it, go listen to that archive show. And make notes. This is a great journal activity. You know how big I'm into journaling. Journaling. Really key. Get a notepad. Go to Duane Reade, CVS, whatever. Pick up a notepad, 99 cents or whatever. Grab a pen, and make notes. When you're listening to each of my guests, make notes. What is irritating you about that person when they're telling their story? Because everybody that we come in contact with, everybody is acting as a mirror to us. So, for example, with Mickey on that Single, Lonely, and Hating It, that first show, I got this email from this guy, and he'll remain anonymous. I won't mention your name, but I know you're smiling because I'm talking about you here. But, like, I got this email that was saying, hey, you know what, I used to be overweight, and like, you need to work out and this and that. It was a very heated email that the guy was upset that this guy just did not work out, that he was just giving up and he was fine being overweight, or not fine being overweight, but just kind of being depressed in that. So everybody had a different reaction. You know, one guy was all upset about that, about him not working out. Somebody else was upset on how he was just such a victim in his life, that guy Mickey. So whatever you notice, everybody picks up different things. Whatever you notice that is a message to you reflecting back to something that's going on in your life, something for you to work on. Because really in this life, there's really no one outside of us. That's all an illusion. I mean, we're kind of getting deep here. This is spiritual. You know, we talk about spiritual stuff on this show. And I'm going to wrap it up a little bit because I want to share some tips here. But just to kind of end on that topic, is that when you see someone, when you're talking to someone, when you're listening to these radio shows that I do, and something about somebody is bothering you, you want to journal about it. And you have to say, what is it about this person that is bothering me? What is it that I need to examine about myself? Because that's the part of you that needs to be healed. It's never about anybody else. It's always a reflection of us. The only relationship that we have in this world that matters, the only real relationship is the one that we have with ourselves. We're here to grow. We're here to evolve. Our soul here is to grow and evolve. So people are brought into our lives to show us aspects of ourselves that are either not developed or not healed or wounded and then need to be healed and things along those lines. So if somebody angers you, it has nothing to do with them. It's 100% having to do with you. Why are you irritated? And go examine that and go explore that. So that'll be the first tip as far as being single, lonely, and hating it. And it has to do with that first show. Okay? Listen back to that archive. I'm giving you guys a little homework. I love the homework assignments. Go back, listen to that first show and what was annoying you about that guy and his interview about being single, lonely, and hating it. So that's number one. The other thing, which also let me give again, I see more callers, thank you. I'll get to you guys in a minute here. Let me give the call-in number again, 347-324-3904. This week's show is dedicated to you and your love life troubles, specifically the singles. I mean, whatever. You could call in if you're in a relationship too, but we're talking about being single, so I figured, hey, let's get some single callers on the line. Okay. So first off, the guy is overweight. He's not happy about being overweight. So if there is something in your love life, in your life in general, if there's something about your life that you don't like, that you think is prohibiting you from finding a partner, maybe you're overweight, maybe you don't think you're good looking, maybe you don't like the way you dress, maybe you don't think you have good flirting skills, or whatever it is, then go fix it, okay? We are in control of our lives, so you want to be proactive and make some changes. Don't just sit back and say, oh, I'm overweight, or oh, I'm not good looking, or whatever, and then you just give up and you hang out for the rest of the time, and you end up in this depression or this sadness, because you know what? There is no way that is attracting somebody good into your life. You may get into a relationship being in that depressed state. You're going to be in a relationship with another depressed person. 2 depressed people is double the trouble. Okay? Not good. It's not going to be a good relationship at all, you know? So take care of whatever issues you have. Look for ways that you could fix things that's troubling you. So if we're going to be turning this into a journal exercise, write what is keeping you from finding love as far as like, are you overweight? Do you think you're not good looking? Do you not know how to flirt? Are you shy? Are you whatever comes to mind, write it down and then do something about it. Okay? And the next thing, and I'm going to go to a caller after this, the next thing that I want to share is that one of the main reasons, I mean, you know what, the show is, the purpose is for people to share their stories. And I was just listening to Mickey tell his story, and it was very difficult for me to be quiet at times. But one of the main reasons why I didn't share, besides being the intention of the show is just for people to share without anybody saying anything, but, this guy, he had the attitude, which again, I feel like a lot of singles have the attitude. I meet a lot of you guys have that attitude of, okay, I'm not able to find anybody. I'm not happy about it, but yet you're not doing anything to make the difference in your life, meaning self-improvement. reading, looking for answers. You know, you want to get really hungry. Like if something's not working for you, if your love life's not working, if you're not happy with it, then get really hungry for the solution. How can you fix it? And that does mean go look for the answers. Now, answers can be found in books. Go to the library. Go read up. I have material on my website, loveguru.net. Go read my articles, free videos. Read up. Learn stuff. Apply them to your life. You could listen to CDs. You could go find teachers. But find somebody who has the answers for you that you're looking for. You know, when I was in that place of being single and being unhappy with my love life, I was so hungry from an early age, so hungry to find that answer. I always wanted to find the the answer of what's the secret formula to attract the one. This is my question that I've had since I was a little girl. When I started dating, there has to be a secret formula. How do I attract the one? How do I attract the one? So I got real hungry about that. And all through college, I was reading books. I was asking people questions. I was taking courses. I was seeking out teachers. Then I started finding spiritual teachers that was working for me. I studied at so many different places. I took workshops, and the universe supported me, started bringing answers to me. And one of the way that ended up happening in the end was I had that the intuition came to me, the idea came to me to put up maryblair.com, which that website was tremendous. It was huge in the media. And it was huge all across the U.S. and to other countries. And it wasn't meant to be anything public. It was a private thing. But that was the answer. That was Spirit answering me as far as here, Blair, we see you're so hungry and you're so committed to finding the secret formula to attracting the one. And one day that answer came. I prayed about it. I cried about it. I begged for it. You know, I went through all of that frustration that you go through being single. But then what happened? One day when the timing was right, the answer came to me. The website went up. It was supposed to just be for my friends and family. It got out to the general public, and that ended up being a huge blessing for me because through that journey, I learned an easier way to attract love. I learned how to attract love to me rather than going out searching for it. And I found the spiritual way to attract the one. That's what I call it. That's what I teach now. That was an incredible blessing. So you are 100% empowered in your life. You are creating your life. And if you're single and you're lonely and you're hating it, well, then go do something about it. Get hungry for the solution. And like I said, I'm here to help you. If you want me to help you, I'm here to help you. Go to my website, loveguru.net. Sign up I do intuitive heart healing sessions. They're private, me and you, on the phone. If you go to the website, you click on Heart Healer, you could read about that as far as the details and the rates and stuff like that. And that'll give you a lot of insights as far as, okay, what's the next step to take? So I feel like I have control over my love life rather than one day it'll just happen. Hey, you know what? That was a big thing. With Mickey, my interview from several weeks ago, on Single, Lonely, and Hating It, that episode, he was like, I'm just going through my day-to-day, and one day I'll just meet her. You know what? No, you won't. You really won't, okay? You'll find someone who's okay. You'll find someone that you'll settle for. You know, you'll have a so-so life with her or yourself. Because why? Because you're being a victim. You're giving away your power. That's not what we're here in this world to do. We're not here to roll over, play dead. We're here to actively make our dreams come true. And if you dream of an amazing partner and an amazing relationship, then you have the power to make it happen. Otherwise, you would not have been given the dream for that. Okay? We're going to go to a short break, and when I come back, I'm taking your calls. I see you guys hang in there. I'm going to come to your calls. If you want to get in queue, the number is 347-324-3904. When I come back, I'm answering your questions about your love life.
Do you feel frustrated by the dating scene? You go out to meet men but never seem to find what you're looking for. Today I'm here to tell you why that happens. Quite simply, it's because you haven't taken the steps to prepare yourself for love. See, all these years you've been dating what I like to call the old way. You search the internet, you go to bars, you ask friends to match you up, you go to singles events. And when you go out, you're always on the lookout because you never know when he's going to show up. But instead of Mr. Wonderful showing up, you end up wondering where he is. The Prepare Yourself for Love program is a natural, effortless way that brings the one to you rather than you're going out and looking for him. Get the Prepare Yourself for Love program now by going to www.loveguru.net. Get the Prepare Yourself for Love program at www.loveguru.net so you can finally attract the love you are looking for. When you've prepared yourself for love, relationships come to you. There's no effort or hard work required.
Do you hate small talk? Think it's boring, a waste of time, and goes nowhere? Most singles don't realize that small talk actually gives you a lot of information. It can be fun, easy, and a great screening process to know for sure if a guy is right for you. Introducing the Get a Date Success Package. Included are 3 powerful audios. Learn how to find a date in 5 minutes or less with someone you actually connect with. The program is quick and to the point. You'll be taken through 4 steps that will tell you, without a doubt, if a person you are talking to has the qualities you're looking for. No more wasting your time talking to losers. Say goodbye to dead-end conversations. The Get a Date Success Package also includes Getting Guys Flirting 101. You'll discover the power you have over men, not in a bad way, but in a way to get them to come over and talk to you. Once you tap into this power, you'll be a master at the dating game. You'll also get the audio Uncovering 2 Levels of Small Talk for Better Connections. See, most singles do small talk wrong, and that's why they hate it. Stop forcing the relationship. Stop forcing the connection when he's really not right for you. Learn what to say and how to say it, and you'll end up loving small talk. Get these 3 eye-opening audios that will transform the way you meet and pick up men. Go to www.loveguru.net/getadate.html. That's www.loveguru.net/getadate.html. Are you a negative person and tend to put yourself down? You say to yourself, you're not good enough, you're not pretty enough. Try harder, work harder. You know you should be confident and you want to love yourself, feel good, and be proud. But pretending to have high self-esteem just isn't working anymore. The Self-Confidence Giving It a Boost So You Can Get a Better Guy audios by Blair Allison, the Love Guru, will help you do just that. Self-confidence is learned. And since you've learned to have low self-esteem, you can also learn how to have high self-esteem. This is a must because low self-esteem affects all areas of your life. It affects your happiness with life or unhappiness. How many men are attracted to you or not attracted to you, the types of guys you date, and the types of guys you can realistically get. The Self-Confidence audios cover 3 powerful healing techniques that will heal your heart. After you've mastered the healing techniques, you'll be taken through over 10 everyday confidence boosters. And this makes boosting your confidence easy and fun. You'll learn how to retrain your mind. Boost your confidence and feel better about yourself today. Get confidence at www.loveguru.net. Once again, www.loveguru.net.
Hey, it's Blair, and we're back. Welcome to Love Life Heart Confessions. This is Blair, the Love Guru. And I want to let you know we have a great show coming up next week. 2 p.m., Wednesday, 2 p.m. Eastern. The show is called 55-Year-Old Man. He's never been married, and he's given up on love. And he says it's easier to be alone than to be, I guess, out there dating. There's too much pain and rejection. It's very interesting, right? Very related to today's topic. And what a lot of singles, I think the route that a lot of singles can possibly go down of like just giving up. Then you end up being 55. That's what he is. Never married, still single, and just came to, I guess, the conclusion that it's better to be alone than to be out there, be vulnerable, get hurt, all of that. So we will talk to him next week. I'm really excited to have him. So I'm going to bring our first caller on the line. It looks like a Skype caller, so I can't even identify you with any kind of number. So just say hi and your number. I'll tell you if I hear you. Go ahead. Welcome.
Hi, Blair.
Hi. I need
Hi,
your name.
My name is Brandy. I'm from Texas.
Brandy, hi. Calling from Texas. Welcome. Welcome. How is it there? Is it really hot today?
Oh, gosh, it's so hot.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
I can imagine. So tell me, what's going on in your love life?
Well, I was curious if you knew when I might, or, if you could see anything when I might meet my future husband.
Okay. Okay, this is actually, you know what, I forget to discuss this in the beginning when everybody calls for, I haven't taken a call-in show in a couple of weeks, but I can do readings like that, if I was one-on-one with you and we kind of had some time and we were going to discuss, that's kind of like maybe more of those typical psychic readings. What I do is more of let's look into more of what specifically is going on in your love life now, and let's dig in a little bit as far as if there's somebody in there, let's talk about that situation, and I could give you a reading as far as that. The problem that I have as far as and this is for everybody, and I'm glad that you asked this question. When we ask readings like that of psychics as far as when am I going to meet him and things along those lines, it puts us in a very passive role that we're kind of just waiting for this guy to appear, and we're not really sure how to bring that person closer, and then after time goes by and say the person gave the prediction to be in October or November and it doesn't happen, then you're like, did I mess it up? Where is this person,
Uh-huh.
So I'm really not cool with that because it just makes you very disempowered, and I'm all about empowering you in your love life. So is there somebody in, because also we are creating our future by the choices that we're making today. So, I mean, is there somebody in your life now?
No, right now I'm just, right now I'm single.
Okay, so why don't you tell me a little bit are you going out? How are you looking for love? Just give me a little information as far as so I could just help read you a little bit.
Yeah, well, right now I'm unemployed, so I haven't really been able to get out that much, so that probably has a lot to do with it. So I'm just, I was just kind of curious.
Are you doing anything to actively manifest love in your life?
I've been working a lot on myself. A lot on myself right now.
Doing what?
Meditating and, reading some, different books and things like that. Trying to, get to know myself more.
Mhm. Which is great. That's definitely needed. Do you know what you are looking for in a partner?
Yeah, I mean, someone that's, understanding, fun, smart, things like that. I've had a lot of good long-term relationships in the past, but I just don't think that I've met the right guy yet.
Mhm.
I strongly feel that way, so.
Okay. Well, as far as, the way that I teach the spiritual way to attract the one, and the way that I teach this is not so much about physical activity as far as going out and meeting people. It's not so much about that. It's maybe, maybe 20% that and 80% internal work of what I call preparing yourself for love. And and I have a CD, an audio program about this on my website, loveguru.net. It's called Prepare Yourself for Love. And it takes you through exercises, which is all internal stuff, all self-growth things, that you're getting very clear about the type of partner that you want, the type of relationship, and by being very clear, the way that this works is by being very clear on the type of person you're looking for, the type of relationship, and really understanding why you want those things. Right. That's what draws that person to you. So really the feeling that I'm getting from you is just kind of a little bit like some kind of like vagueness. So I really want to see you step it up and be more empowered and take be more in charge of your love life. And what does that mean? Well, you shared some things for me as far as like what you're looking for in a partner. I really want you to take some time like today, tonight, and go into details as far as, like you said, understanding, fun, smart. Like, what do those really mean, and like, why do you want a partner that has that? Like, why is that important to you?
Okay, great. Well, thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. And you know what? On the website, sign up for my newsletter because you'll get an audio, a free audio, and a free written exercise that will start this. And I think, well, I know that would really help you as far as the first step because it'll give you more of an understanding of how I teach and how to, like, it'll take you through exercises and get you writing. And that is creation. When you write, you create. So thank you for calling. And I will take the next caller, which is 862. Hello, welcome to Love Life Heart Confessions. Hello? 862.
Hi, I'm just listening. Thank you.
Oh, you are? Okay. No love life issue or anything? No? Okay, we got somebody just wants to listen, a little shy. It's all right. You guys could call in and just listen if you can't hear it through your radio or whatever. Let me give the number again, 347-324-3904. I'm going to go to the next caller. Welcome. You're on Love Life Heart Confessions. It looks like a Skype caller. What's your name? Hello? I'm talking to you. I see your hand up, but there's no one there. Can you not hear me? I have a Skype caller, so I don't have any kind of number. All right, I'm going to put you on mute again. All right, so we have the lines free. Otherwise, if the other person is just listening, and then we have somebody who, I guess that person must be listening too that's on Skype, 347-324-3904. I'm here taking your questions about your love life. And actually, Brandy brought up like a really good this is really good. When you're asking questions, ask questions to be empowered as far as what's happening in your love life now. Either how can you fix something, how can you create something, rather than something that may possibly happen in the future. All right? It's very passive. So while I'm waiting for your phone calls, I don't know, you want me to sing for you? I could sing for you. I could do a little dance. You guys can't see me. Let me try to pick up that Skype caller again because I see your hand still up.
Hello?
Oh, hello. Hi. Oh, there, now I could hear you.
Hi.
Hi, welcome.
Hi, Blair. My name is Sue.
Sue, hi, welcome. So what's going on in your love life?
Well, there's this guy. I know he's my soulmate. He started flirting with me last October. I fell in love with him. I know he's in love with me. Of course, as soon as I told him that I liked him, he started backing away. And I just would kind of like to know when we're going to go out, when he's going to get his courage up and get himself together.
Okay, so last October, so we're talking about like maybe October 2008?
Yes.
Is that what you mean by that? Okay, or the year after. Okay, before that. Okay, so... And have you ever gone out with this man?
No.
You haven't?
No.
So this is just someone that you know from, like, out and about?
He works around here where I live.
Okay. Let me ask you, what makes you think that he's your soulmate?
Well, I was told, but also the feelings that I have. I also was talking to him one day a couple of weeks ago, and I heard an automated voice on the right side of my head, very loud, as he was talking to me. I love you. The voice said, I love you? Those were the words, I love you. As he was talking to me, the words coming out of his mouth were fading off in the background when it sounded like someone came up to the right side of my head and was shouting in my head.
That's interesting. Okay.
I mean, we're connected. I know that.
Right. Okay. And then tell me, like, as far as the interactions, as far as, like, these last several months, they've just been kind of in passing?
Yes. As soon as I kind of told him I had feelings for him, and I've tried saying, hey, let's get together for coffee or something, he would say great, but then nothing, or he's busy, and now it's like we do and we don't avoid each other because it hurts me too much just to see him. I know how he feels about me. He knows how I feel about him. I've done emails, text messages. I can't do any more. And I know I've got to wait for him. So I'm just at the point like, when?
Mhm.
So
let me ask you, I mean, how much longer are you going to wait for him? Like, how does this play out in your mind?
I don't know. I feel like it's very close, but I'm still waiting.
Yeah, okay. And this is for everybody. This is situations that we all get in. You know, we see someone that we like and we feel a connection to them that's very strong, and we have these intuition experiences, and then we're kind of hooked, you know, because we think it means something, and it's very important for us to be equally grounded. Like, we may have spiritual experiences and intuitions, but it's very important to be equally grounded, or even more so grounded in the reality of things. And if this man is a little bit shy or afraid or not pursuing, then you have to step in and be like, okay, how am I going to take care of myself in this situation? Because I feel that he is pulling your energy. Like, your energy, when I look at you, and I know we're remotely, it doesn't matter because I work with energy, but when I look at you, your energy is being, and I hear you talking about this, your energy is being pulled in his direction, which is fine if you're in a relationship with somebody. It's a solid you, a solid him as far as like energy, space, and then there's like a connection between you energy-wise. But what I see between you and this man is more of, there's not such a solidness of you, there's a solidness of him being in his energy field, and your energy is being pulled towards him.
Is he pulling my energy?
He's pulling your energy. He's doing his own thing. He's either not in the space right now, or it's just confusion on his end. You know, whatever that means. What'd you say?
Is he consciously pulling it?
No, he's not doing anything. He's not a malicious man. Like, he just
No,
feels.
I don't mean that.
You know, it's not. He's not. He seems like a nice guy, but the dynamic is like with like in a healthy relationship is one that the energy is going both ways. So whenever you're in any type of relationship, be it a friendship or a love relationship or whatever, if that energy is being pulled from you, it's not healthy. So what you need to do, and it doesn't mean, just because we're talking about this now, it doesn't mean that you guys are not meant to be and that nothing's going to happen or anything. It just means that for you in this moment in time, you really need to be taking care of yourself and standing your ground and taking back your power. So how do we do that? Well, the question that you have to ask yourself is, do I want to kind of keep on sacrificing myself, my happiness, to be kind of hung up on this guy? You know, it's to the point that it's hard for you to be around him, hard for you to see him, that type of thing. You know, like it sounds like a little bit of exhausted energy too. You tried calling and texting and this and that.
Well, I've tried pulling back, and it just comes back. I mean, I'm not being allowed to forget about him, kind of, without going into detail on the phone. I'm just not being allowed to pull back all the way.
Well, you need to make that decision for yourself. I mean, this is where it comes into play that again, like I was talking about this earlier, that it's our responsibility to take care of and to love ourselves first before any man or, if we're talking to guys, any woman enters, before any partner enters in your life. You have to be able to take care of yourself and love yourself, and that's number one. Even if when you're in a relationship, you always need to love yourself and take care of yourself first. So the loving thing for you to do would be to pull away from him and then to pray to be able to cut that attachment to him, to be able to release him and do self-nurturing stuff. So that would be stuff to make yourself happy again, that you're in a space that you can be out there and attracting other partners. And that might bring him back, or it'll just bring you someone that's in a healthy kind of connection.
Okay.
Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Because when we're so attached to, we have these, I have that also. You get intuitions and you hear things or you feel things or you see things or whatever, and you think, oh, this person's the one, whatever. First off, we have lots of soulmate connections. Really what that means is that our souls recognize one another from a past lifetime. Mm-hmm. So that's what that heart feeling is. It's that soul recognition of, I know you. And it's that deep feeling, and it feels amazing. But just because you have that doesn't necessarily mean that you're meant to have a relationship with that person in this lifetime. It just means that you recognize them from another lifetime. So you can take this as here's this man teaching you a lesson. You recognize him. He's teaching you a lesson in this lifetime. You feel that strong pull towards him. You feel that he is a soulmate, which he definitely could be. And take it as a message that, okay, well, in the spirit world, before you were reincarnated again, you both agreed to see each other in this lifetime and teach each other certain lessons. So what lesson do you think that he's possibly teaching you right now?
More patience.
Okay, well, what else? There's more to it. There's a lot of lessons he's teaching you right now.
Believing in my own feelings.
Good, okay.
My own instincts, which is something I had problems before in. And, I didn't even go looking for this guy. And I'd known him a couple of years. And just one day, it was literally he looked across the room and bam.
Mm-hmm.
I was and wasn't looking for somebody. I know what I want. And when that happened, since then, like I said, he was flirting and I was flirting back. And the more that I got to know him, the more that I realized that this is the guy that I want. That's supposed to be, why would it happen like this?
Well, because you have a connection with him. So, again, just because you have a connection with him doesn't mean that you're not going to have connections with other men. I've had this happen to me maybe 50 times already. Not that much. But with a lot of men, I've had that. And each time until, again, everybody has their own path. But I've definitely had, 10 guys or so that I've had this thing that it's been yes, this is a soulmate. I feel a connection. I get signs. And I'm so connected and I'm so attached to the results. But really, in the end, they weren't meant. And again, I'm not saying this is true of you guys, but in the end, they were there to teach me a lesson. It wasn't that they were my life partner. Mm-hmm. That's a different term that I use now, because I was always searching for my one, which is another word for soulmate. But to me, life partner is a different term. That means you spend your life with this person as your partner. Whereas soulmate to me is that you have past life recognition with them. So these men, this man, yes, he's teaching you patience. He's teaching you that you have this, your intuitive guidance. He's also teaching you right now to love yourself more than loving a man or loving a relationship. You need to choose yourself first before a man, before a relationship.
Well, that's how everything was before he walked into my life. I mean, I was just fine before all this. Like I said, I did not go looking for this. It came to me.
Yeah, but look how he threw you for a curveball.
I know.
It's been a long time. I mean, if we're looking at this as far as in the physical world, if we're grounding ourselves in reality, October was many months ago.
Mm-hmm.
So the question is, like, how long? I'm going to be patient, but then it has to get to a point of how long am I going to make myself, quote, suffer?
Exactly.
Because I want to be happy in love, and if this man's not giving me that, then I need to be making the loving decision to myself and say, okay, I'm going to move on. I'm going to cut my losses. Yes, I had this wonderful connection from him. Let me look at the gifts that I got from him, the lessons that I learned, and maybe he taught you to not make yourself suffer. Maybe he taught you to not pursue a man like that. Maybe you want a man to pursue you and to feel loved and wanted and things like that. That was draining your energy too. Giving him all that attention, totally draining your energy.
Well, like I said, he was the one that seemed to pursue me in the beginning, and as soon as I acknowledged that, then he started pulling away. He got scared.
I mean, how old is this guy? You know, aren't we older than this? You know, aren't we done with that? Yeah.
I know that. So, I don't know.
So, you know, don't let him get away with stuff. And it doesn't mean to necessarily confront him. I mean, I think you could have a conversation with him, but, like, it's a thing of, you know, you make the rules for your life. So if a guy is not ready for what you're ready for in your life, I don't care if he is amazing, fabulous, fantastic, whatever. I don't care, because he's not ready for what you are ready for in life right now, and that, for that reason only, makes him not right for you.
Mm-hmm.
So this is good. Keep me posted. Call back on another show. Tell me what you end up doing.
Okay.
But spend today thinking about it. Spend today going back over these last several months and following your journey of how you were feeling, the ups and downs of your relationship. Mm-hmm. When he was pursuing you, when you're pursuing him, being in the confusion. And then at the end of kind of journaling that out and figuring it all out, sit down with yourself like you would sit down with a good friend and be like, do I want to continue putting myself through this? What do I want for my life now? Because that's how you're truly empowered in your life, in your love life.
This has been total insanity, which all the reading I've done about soulmates is exactly what it is.
Mhm.
It's very confusing.
It's confusing, and it's there to teach you a lesson. It's there to help your soul grow. But it also is your choice. Do I want to keep on going on along with this roller coaster, or is it just enough? I'm ready for love. I want to be happy. You know what? He's not fulfilling my needs. And you deserve that. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to have a man to be consistent with his actions and his feelings towards you. And that's what I'm blessing you with today. I'm leaving you with a blessing. I'm like, just that's what I'm sending your way.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Sending you lots of love. Call back and please let me know, or send me an email. Let me know what happens.
Okay, thanks a lot.
All right, you're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So that was a really interesting caller. A lot of us get wrapped up into that. A lot of us. Can you relate listening to her story? You know, we meet someone who we think is amazing. We get certain tingles that we've never gotten before, or a certain deeper connection that we've never felt before. And then, you know, in the real world, which we'll say outside of the feelings that we have, which we'll just maybe call the spiritual world, for the lack of a better word. I don't really, you know, like we're feeling this energy, we're feeling this excitement, but in the real world, when we're grounded in the real world, the relationship's not happening the way we want it to happen. You know, let me give the phone number in between here, 347-324-3904. I think I could take one more caller. There's nobody else on the line, so if you want to call in, 347-324-3904. So, we have these feelings. We're hooked in. I never felt like this before. The person appeared out of nowhere. Hey, Blair's had that plenty of times. I know what you guys are going through, which I'm grateful for that now, because then that gives me the ability to help you guys. But it is always our choice as far as, okay, after several months go by, or maybe not several months, maybe it's several weeks, or maybe it's 1 month. How long are you going to give the guy or the girl to be reciprocating? How long are you going to give that relationship a chance? And it doesn't mean you're being harsh. It means that you're loving yourself. It means that you know yourself. You know what you want. You know what you're ready for. And then you're going to go for it. So if the person's causing you suffering, if the person's not giving you a relationship, if the person's not, it's not really giving, but, for the lack of a better word, if you're not receiving from this person. Relationships are all about give, receive, the exchange of energy. That's beautiful. They're not meant to be draining. If you're more focused on this man or this woman than he or she is focused on you, that's not healthy. Yeah, keep it moving. And I think that is really the true lesson of being one of the lessons. There's a lot of lessons, but I think that's one of the key lessons of being single. How can I love myself? It always comes back to how can I love myself? Am I being loving to myself? That man is not being so loving to her. He's giving her mixed messages. He's not really ready. He's confused. He's not ready. Whatever. Who cares? But she's hooked in. Okay, that happens to the best of us. That happens to all of us. But then we need to be able to pull back and say, how can I love myself? How can I take care of myself? He's not fulfilling my needs. How can I take care of myself? Sure, you could always make the decision to stick around, but then it gets to a point, how many months are you going to stick around and still not have your needs fulfilled? There are so many men out there. There are so many women out there that if you learn how to manifest what you want in your life, you're going to be attracting them one after the next. You don't want to get attached to any one person unless you are 100% that they are making you happy, that they are fulfilling your needs, that you're going the same places in life, that you want the same things in life, that type of thing. Really interesting. I love this topic. So we have maybe 6 minutes left. What can I talk to you about? I don't know. I'm going to give you a reminder for next week. We have a 55-year-old man. He's never been married, and he's given up on love. I'm very interested for this show coming up. And I really wonder how many people in their 40s, in their 50s, hey, even in their 30s, when do you check out of love? This is going to be interesting. When do you check out of love? Because I think this was also coming up a little bit on last week's show, too, that this was the cross-dressing guy. He was saying, well, I could either make the decision now. He's in his early 30s. He said, I could either make the decision now to say, I'm going to be single for the rest of my life. Close up my heart. I'm going to be single for the rest of my life, and I'll just be okay with that or whatever. But truly, I really want love in my life. So then you have to keep on going for it. You make that decision. That is a commitment that you make to yourself. If you want to find your life partner in this lifetime, if you want love in this lifetime, then go for it. Don't go for it half-assed. Go for it full-assed. That's funny. Go for it full force. All right? So if you're going to go for it full force, then make things happen. Be empowered in your life. Seek out answers, solutions. You'll find them. Rather than being wishy-washy. One person you're having a one-night stand with, the next person you're kind of being hung along, dragged along in the relationship. If you're going for a life partner, then treat every person that you're dating as a life partner and give it your all. Don't have your guard up. Don't play stupid games. Give it your all. You have one shot to be with this person. Give it your all. If it doesn't work, okay, yeah, your heart's going to be hurt. You'll heal. We all heal. And whatever. You feel the emotions and they go through you. Like little kids. You ever watch kids in the playground? I love hanging out with kids. I think they're so much fun to play with. But you see, 1 minute they're laughing, so full of light, and then they might hurt themselves or throw a fit or something. They're crying. That happens for maybe 3 minutes or so. And then that emotion has come out, and then they're happy again. So that's the same thing. If you get your heart broken, if you have to detach from somebody, it's going to stink. It's not going to be fun. It doesn't really get easier, but you understand that you do it because you're committed to the higher purpose of finding love. You're committed to the higher purpose of finding your one or your life partner. So you do it. And then you go out there again. You keep an open heart and you go out there again. You stay in action. You stay in the ring until you beat the bull. How's that one? All right, so we're going to wrap up for today. We were a little bit light on callers, but it's okay. I usually don't take call-in shows. So I appreciate the callers that we did have. I send everybody lots and lots of love. Tune in next week. Oh, and also, by the way, please favorite the show on Blog Talk Radio. I love when I get those emails from you guys that somebody's favored my show. It's a lot of fun, and I send you blessings when I get that too, because it's just so exciting. But what happens when you favorite show? Well, it reminds you of the next show, the topic, and it reminds you when it's happening. So you'll always remember to tune in, and that way you could call in live, when we do these special call-in shows. Okay? So connect to me on Facebook and Twitter. My username is LoveGuruBlair. And tune in next week when we have our next guest who has really closed off his heart to love and is being okay, being single. So until next week, I wish you all the best in love. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Love Life Heart Confessions with intuitive heart healer, the Love Guru, Blair Allison. Blair can be found on the web at loveguru.net and datingtipsfordudes.com. You can also connect with Blair on Facebook and Twitter. See you there.